3, 2, 1. Cause maybe I don't want to get copyright claims, so I'm not going to do the whole thing. This is Adam from Sardonicast, and Your Movie Sucks. This is Sardonicast. Hi, welcome. What's up?
This is Alex from IHE. I'm going to say, was that the bite of 87?
Oh, God. Okay.
Huh?
All right.
I'm so confused. I don't even know what the context is for both of your quotes.
That's fine, actually.
That's
Both.
fine. Okay.
Bofa.
Okay, cool. Okay. All right, here's my quote. I just want to live.
You almost got it. You have to like slur your words a bit more, like you're doing a drunk acting performance for some reason.
I was trying really hard, guys. Just come on. I need to win.
I just want to live.
Okay, that's pretty good.
I think that was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I think you could put that in the trailer. It would be no different.
Okay, yeah. I mean, lots of interesting line readings and stuff going on. You know, I feel like, Adam, do you want to share? You had quite the momentous situation going. I don't even know how to describe it, not momentous, but you know, with your Avatar Fire and Ash review, I feel like people were up your ass about that. What's going on there?
I mean, it's not that many people. I mean, like maybe if you're only on Twitter. Let me look at my like to dislike ratio on the actual video. Let's check this out. All right, YouTube Studio.
Let's see the facts.
All right, so we have a 95.3% like ratio, which is normal and good.
That's horrible.
Yeah. So 15,000 likes, and I don't know how many. It's asking me to verify that it's me now, which is so stupid. Oh, I have to sign in again. Great. Thanks, Google. Yeah, no, it's a bit. Oh, yes. 15,091 likes to 751 dislikes. So that's like normal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it. Okay. It shouldn't be controversial to say that Avatar Fire and Ash is not a good movie.
I mean, not to relitigate our conversation that we had about it. You know, everyone
Sure.
can go listen to our conversation about it.
Let's just do another Avatar episode.
No.
Okay. But I feel like your takes are pretty reasonable, and you know, you do it in your typical YMS way, you know, and it's just like, I don't know what the issue is. You know what I mean? I feel like you have pretty reasonable complaints about the film, which I had similar complaints too. I just liked it more than you did.
I think if I were a person that was just saying nonsense that wasn't true in any way that didn't relate with people, then no one would be upset. Right?
Right.
So clearly it's connecting, and that's why people are upset. Like the people that don't want there to be any argument against the film for some reason because they've attached their identity to it. Otherwise I have no answer for why people would be upset about someone's opinion on a movie.
I don't get it.
I do think the fan base and reception over Avatar 3 was kind of weird, because I do think like there's this huge defensiveness in general with the diehard Avatar fans that are like, we're not like Marvel people, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like,
you know, right.
Plenty of you can be like Marvel people if you're, you know, just not going to be critical about the movie. Like, I love the Avatar franchise. I think it's cool, but the third movie had issues, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, like the criticism of fan culture goes beyond blockbusters, right? Like David Lynch has some rabid fans too, you know?
Snyder, yeah.
True, yeah.
Like entire genres have rabid fans, right? There's nothing about, you know, a movie even being like a box office hit. Fucking Kimba has weird fans.
Yeah, so your tweet.
That's still the funniest one to me.
They're interesting. I've never met one in real life.
Yeah, are they even real? It might be like a Kimba bot.
Big Kimba.
Who's funding it? Oh, it's probably in the Epstein files. It's connected to everything.
Speaking of the Epstein files, David Lynch. No, sorry, wrong.
Huh?
Speaking of
Adobe.
David Lynch. Speaking of David Lynch, did you guys hear his final script that he wasn't able to produce? Thank you, Netflix. To Unrecorded Night. It's called Unrecorded Night, and it looks like we'll be able to read it. They'll be publishing it.
Oh shit!
So
no, I didn't see this. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't wait for Adam Wingard to adapt it.
Who?
I thought you were going to make a joke about the Millennia movie. You know, the Brett
Melania movie.
Ratner.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
sure.
Mm-mm.
No, I mean I was just making a joke about how Adam Wingard keeps getting scripts for things that he can't really handle.
Mm.
Right.
He keeps getting IP, like he's supposed to remake fucking I Saw the Devil
That's a good
for
idea.
no reason. He did the Death Note Netflix movie,
That was also a good idea.
you know. Just like not I don't want him to be doing things with any source material. Really.
You know, the thing about, it's weird because the thing about like directors that you feel like keep getting projects and we're like, why do they keep getting these big projects to direct? It's like they're so mid. They like, nobody likes them. They're just like studio people. And then you realize like, oh, that's why they keep getting is because they're probably super nice and easy to work with, you know,
because they do
and
what they're
probably
told.
reliable with the
Or
budget.
like Yes
yeah.
Men, if we're talking about like Brett Ratner. Like, I was looking at his last film because I hadn't thought of his name in ages since this
Of
news.
course.
And I was like, oh, is that The Rock Hercules movie? Was his last like big
Really?
project? That was like 2014 or something.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, nobody
Wow.
does.
Like I legit don't remember it existed.
Yeah,
This is a
yeah, it
new
happened,
thing
I
you've
think.
told me. The Rock Hercules 2016. Okay.
2014, I think it was.
2014.
I saw a report, Melania, speaking of Brett Ratner, I saw a report that in the UK, there's reportedly on the opening day of Melania's release, there was one single ticket sold. And I just want to ask you, Alex, what was going through your head when you bought that
I
ticket?
told you before we started not to bring that up to me, man. Like,
Oh, sorry. It was a friend
yeah,
of yours.
no, it wasn't me.
Okay.
There was literally one ticket in Vancouver as well. So
Really?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
which is
Yeah.
funny. I think it's very funny that Brett Ratner, you know, clearly, you know, just being buddies with the administration, longtime buddies with, you know, Trump and Epstein and Melania,
Mhm.
directs their movie. It's not really a movie. It's everybody seems to agree that it's like a bribe,
It's a commercial.
and you know, it just exists for money. He does this thing for them, and they decide not to censor him in the Epstein files at all. Like his face is unblurred. There's like all the new dumps. You just see more Brett Ratner. I'm like, wow, like you're not even doing him a favor because you're censoring other people that didn't need to be censored. So
Mm-hmm.
just Brett, you know, he's getting the short end of the stick.
It's just Brett Ratner, Woody Allen, and Noam Chomsky all hanging out together in every picture.
What is this world? What is happening?
It's kind of surprising that this is a thing that we're seeing because you'd think that this would be a thing that you wouldn't see, as in that it would be covered up better.
Uh-huh. Yeah. The breadth of it.
Well, it just kind of feels like they don't need to lie anymore. They're just like, what are you going to do about it? Just like, here you go. This is how the world works.
I'm curious, like, okay, this is a kind of like a very political question, I guess.
Whoa, politics on our show? Adam, come on.
That'd be a first.
Easy.
No, I'm just curious. So if the Trump administration, for every other subject, right, every other thing that he's doing, like tariffs, etc., he's just able to ignore the law and just be like, okay, well, I'm doing it anyway. And as you know, we've got Republican majority, and they're like, well, it's okay, he's doing it anyway. I'm curious what existing checks and balances exist that are making it so that the Epstein files are still there and not just deleted. Like technically, like on a technical
Right.
level, like what's the reason why we're able to see them and it didn't just disappear? Like does he not have control over the bodies of government that oversee that right now? Like I'm just so confused about it, why we're even able to see it.
I mean, I feel like there's just still lingering institutional power with the DOJ and everything. That's like, you know, you can only do so much technically. Well, you know, especially like it's been a year, you know, of him in office. It's like you can really only whittle away at the structure so much before
Right.
it has to answer to something. And also it was like huge bipartisan like support for releasing the bills. I'm sure that there's just, you know, like regardless of how much power Trump has, like he still has to answer somewhat to like the political whims of his party, I guess.
In the future, if this is what dismantles the Trump presidency for good, people will look back and say, all you had to do was not be a pedophile.
They find it a little bit too tough, you know.
All you had to do was not be a pedophile. He'd have it all. All right. We'll get into movies in a second. What were you guys saying about Adobe earlier? What's happening?
Oh yeah, we were talking about how we're sick of software just being subscription services now.
Yeah,
and
fuck that shit.
They kind of like have to justify these updates constantly because of the model, I guess, and it always just ruins everything and breaks features, and it's so annoying. But yeah, Adobe Animate, which formerly was Adobe Flash, I believe. That was the last time I used that software. They announced that they were shutting it down. So a bunch of animators like started panicking and making videos because they were moving some kind of AI solution to fill its place. They have since cancelled it. It was just a wild thing to even attempt. Yeah. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
That's too bad animation isn't cinema, you know, otherwise that'd be a problem.
Yeah, it's just for babies is the thing.
Yeah.
I've seen now, like 3 out of 5 of the animated noms so far for this year. Elio does not deserve to be on any list.
that is so wild that it's on there.
That's a weird one. Dog of God was a great animated movie that the Academy didn't watch. Bushra, that was great, but I wouldn't expect that to get a nom.
Here's a question for you guys. Do you feel like, especially with like Adobe trying to cancel Flash and all that stuff, do you feel like animation is becoming more democratized as a medium and more available for people to work in? Or do you feel like with the way the corporate structure and everything and people moving towards AI and all that, do you feel like it's becoming more inaccessible and more niche that like fewer people will be able to make animated films?
I mean, it seems to be trending towards being more democratized. And I mean, like, there's other softwares, you know, like Blender's a free program. Fucking Flow won the Academy Award with it. Right.
I also don't think it's a coincidence, though, that most of the films of quality come from Japan or France, who either have a cultural respect for it or actually subsidize and support and respect the art form in some way, you know? Like, I haven't seen... Is Arco French? Because that's not out here till like March or something. There's something really strange going on with release dates over here. Because Nirvana, the band to show the movie as well, doesn't even have a release date in the UK. Really annoyingly, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to see that.
Yeah, no, hopefully you'll get it on the 20th or something. If you want to, you know, go to fucking, where is it? Is it Glasgow? There's like a film festival. Yeah, it's Glasgow Film Festival is playing Nirvana the band at the end of February. if you want to go to Glasgow, I'm hoping you get to see it soon. Jake, you better watch it next week. I swear to God,
I'll try. I do want to see it.
Arco is made by some people with some very French-sounding names. But oh yeah, no, it looks French. Okay, cool.
It looked quite French to me.
Can you pronounce them?
Can I?
Can you pronounce those names for us?
I'm not confident about these, so I'm not going to.
Okay.
Well, we'll see. It looks like it's a lower age demographic than I would like for it.
Yeah, I'll check it out when I get a chance. But
yeah, fuck Adobe.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, they're notorious. They've been just awful forever, but the package is just so... I don't know, I use Photoshop every day. I use Audition every day. I use Premiere every day.
I'm thinking I should... Yeah, it's a lot of money. They charge an obscene amount for their software.
Do you do the hack, though?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know why they let you do this, but every year, if you go to cancel it, they just say, oh, no, you can have this much cut off it every month for the next year.
Yeah, I should.
I just do that once a year, and it makes it a bit more affordable.
That's so funny. I should do that.
Yeah.
Oh, please come back. So... Before the podcast, you guys were saying this thing about Adobe, and then I was like, no, wait, do we want to just start recording? And then Jake says, oh yeah, just monetize everything. Everything's content. And, although there is like a bit of a switch in my brain that, thinks of things in that way, I'm trying to learn to not do that as much. But I'm bringing this up because before we started recording, I saw like Mr. Beast did an interview and he was talking about how the first his videos that blew up, the counting to 100,000, he said he came up with the idea because he was watching Game of Thrones and Naruto and thought to himself, this is a waste of time because I'm not making money doing it. And he thought, how do I make money doing this? And so he counted to 100,000 while he was watching that and pretended he wasn't watching anything. So Mr. Beast has that for it. Like he's got a problem.
I mean, there's no one like him. There's no brain that works like that. I mean, it's just, that's why he's the best. That's why we love Mr. Beast.
He's the hyper extreme of all these kind of negative concepts, like channeled into the super algorithm boy.
I mean, Adam, how do you expect to get 100 million subscribers without thinking like that? You know what I mean? You got to be on your grind.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Why I'm not getting 100 million subscribers.
Why are you making like 5-hour Lion King breakdowns when you could be just counting numbers while watching Naruto?
Okay.
Just try that.
Yeah, well, you can't do it the second time. You can't rip them off.
Also, look, I'm willing to be in your videos if you want to torture Alex, if you want to bury him alive, and I can be like the hype man.
Yeah, fine. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Put him in all sorts of hijinks, shenanigans. Yeah. Have like a sniper try to shoot him. Like that's something that Mr. Beast does, I think. I'm pretty sure. Like most dangerous game type of stuff.
Some people just have that brain where like they're in the money mode forever. And it doesn't matter how much money they have, and it's just an addiction. And the more money they have, the more they use it to hoard it from other people and prevent other people from having money. So it's like, after a certain point, you can't.
You're describing all the most powerful people in the world.
I know, it sucks. It sucks. And apparently when you earn $1 billion, it also turns you into a pedophile. So I think we should probably put a cap on it.
That's the one thing they don't tell you about making that much money.
I mean, it might be the thing to help stop it. We'll see. We'll see how many people just decide it's fine.
Yeah.
You would think, right? You'd think that would be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah. I don't know. Markiplier.
Kind of a timely topic. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought we were talking about Send Help for a second. Not timely to Markiplier. Sorry, sir.
No. Okay.
So, Jake, did you not catch the Bite of 87? Have you never heard that before from Markiplier?
No. I've never seen Markiplier's videos ever.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So did you even know what an iron lung was before, the game?
I watched the film, and then afterwards in my recommended feed, I saw Markiplier play Iron Lung for the first time on his YouTube channel, and it was kind of interesting seeing like the genesis of, his his creative process, basically. But
how long was it?
It was like 30 minutes, I think.
Him playing the whole game?
Yeah.
Was it like edited down?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looked boring as shit. Like I had to go through big chunks of it because he's just like, it's a very minimal game. He's just like looking at a chart and then like moving numbers around.
Yeah, it's like a tiny little indie game. That's like the whole appeal of it.
I managed to play it, even though my arms are goofed. I played it with my feet.
Oh.
Because it was only like an hour. Well, it took me 2 hours, but I had some brain farts about what was going on at first.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm glad I played the game before watching the film because not only was I less confused about what the fuck was going on, but I feel like I got the intended experience of the story through the game much better than the film was able to communicate. I mean, maybe a different director could have, but I just there's so much about it that just it doesn't make sense to translate into a film. Playing the game, I was thinking, why would you choose this to make a movie out of? But it's resonating with some people. So
can I give a quick overview from my perspective so that you guys can correct me, because I know you guys know probably a little more about the game and Markiplier. Okay, so my understanding of it. Okay, this huge YouTuber Markiplier, he plays an indie game called Iron Lung, and he's already made some films right through YouTube or stuff. So he's like been making stuff, but not at this scale. He got inspired by the game, and then he makes this game on like a $3 million budget, correct? And then he doesn't promote it at all, basically, except through his channel of 38 million subscribers.
Yeah.
And then it comes out and it is number 2 in the box office only to Send Help, and immediately is like making a ton of money because it was such a low budget. People are seeing it, and like it's a huge win for Hollywood because it's an independently distributed film, right? This is what we're all happy about, correct?
It's redefined indie cinema, yeah.
A huge win for Hollywood.
A huge win for Hollywood or for indie filmmaking?
I mean, that's what you said. You just said a huge win for Hollywood.
Oh, okay. No, Hollywood is scared. They're scared of
Okay.
Markiplier. He's a scary guy, right?
Yeah. He's a scary man.
Okay. So I have the basic facts.
Yeah, it's quite different to the Chris Stuckman's movie response, where that was still a fair, it was a success, but critically, and I guess the fan base size is just dwarfed massively by Markiplier. That does affect things.
If you like go in a random room of 30-year-olds and just say Markiplier, 90% of them are, even more, are going to know who you're talking about. Like, even if they don't watch his shit, they're going to have heard the name, right?
Yeah,
and so I think
recognize his face.
Yeah, and I think hearing the name is enough to get people to watch it, being like, oh, a thing, somebody made a movie named Markiplier. I remember the name Markiplier.
It's literally on the poster, yeah. It's not Mark Fishback, it's
which is
Markiplier.
Kind of telling to me.
It's kind of funny.
I mean, it works. It's a good money thing.
Like, do what you got to do, but like, yeah, it got butts in seats.
It did.
The advertising, like all the hardest part is kind of like covered by Markiplier, of like getting your film out there. Like it's his production company. He like funded it, so yeah, there aren't the normal kind of barriers to getting eyes on your film that there normally are, and the slight recognition of the game already existing. It's not like a truly original story. There's a lot of like kind of YouTube SCP kind of energy around this story in this game.
Yeah. Did you play the game?
No.
Okay.
It's not really my thing. I've watched the video.
Sure. Well, okay. So the best I can describe for why
Wait, real quick. Can I do this real quick?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I just want to guess what you guys are going to rate it, okay?
Okay. Well, I'm not
right,
going to say
Adam?
until the end.
Adam, you're going to give it a 3 out of 10. Or no, 4 out of 10. And Alex, you're going to give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
All right.
I'll hold my tongue.
All right. Now, share what you thought.
Okay, so the best explanation I can give for why the game has such a big fan base is because it's great at atmosphere. Like it has really good sound design. As you're playing it, you definitely feel the tone, very tone heavy. And, also people are kind of starved for like an eldritch horror type thing. There's not that many of those. And I think in some sense, people kind of take what they can get, especially when adapted to the big screen. And also, the game has a bit of lore. When he's like typing on the computer in the game, you can just access things on the terminal, and it's kind of like you don't have to do it to beat the game. It's there for people who want to, fantasize and imagine about the world outside of the very minimalist map that the game has, the minimalist setting. And that's cool. And, it in many ways that works because your imagination can do a lot more effective work in that sense, especially for horror genre type things where you're, the unknown is kind of scary. The gaps in information are kind of scary. The question of why. So yeah, in that sense, I did enjoy the game. It did kind of feel like almost like a proof of concept than a fully fleshed out game. But it's cheap, made by a very small team. But yeah, it was good for what it was. I really think that it did a great job with tone and sound design, especially.
Okay.
And just the nature of it being interactive kind of makes it scarier.
Yeah.
Like the scariest games I've played, I find are scarier than most of the scariest films I've seen just for that alone, where like it won't progress until you are actively doing something.
Yes. That is something that is definitely lacking from the film. The interactive nature did make me more easily startled because the way that you control the ship and the way that you navigate is, kind of intentionally tedious. It's not just like, oh, move forward with joystick and you're just controlling and you see out the ship. No, like the whole blood ocean is an excuse for why you can't see out the ship and you have to like plot out on a map and like rotate and then be like, okay, 300 longitude, 500 latitude. I don't want to hit the wall. And then maybe you take a picture to see if there's something in your way, sort of thing. I don't know why the things at the back of the ship, maybe I guess because the radiation or whatever. But the tedious nature makes it so that when you get focused on something, because you actually have to engage and be focused on navigating, it makes the surprise kind of startling moments actually startling because you're not fixated on the anticipation of something happening. You're fixated on the navigation and it distracts you and then genuinely startles you. There weren't really any jump scares in the movie anyway, so it's not like it was, I guess, trying to replicate that feeling exactly, but it was something that, not really possible to translate into live action even if you do try.
Okay.
Had you played it around the time it came out or in prep for this film?
In prep, right?
Like a week ago. Yeah.
Okay. Because I remember I first heard about this game during the Ocean Gate disaster.
Yeah.
Like sales went nuts for it on Steam or something around that time, and that's what brought my attention.
You're saying Markiplier planned Ocean Gate in order to promote his film? Wouldn't put it past him.
Ocean Gate.
Yeah. Okay, so the game sounds like it's pretty cool. How did it work as an adaptation?
Depends what you're looking for. To me, not very well, honestly. Like okay. The atmosphere and tone were not really there. The sound design was not there. And again, like the game is like a really small team from what I understand, like way lower budget from what I understand. And the sound design in this film, it's like they were trying to cover everything up with this overbearing, like epic soundtrack that was just insisting so much throughout the entire film. And then during the scenes where the soundtrack wasn't there, like very infrequently, and you actually heard the underwater sound effects, it was pretty identical to like underwater 10-hour help you sleep sound effect. It didn't feel atmospheric. It was just like, oh, okay, like bubbly kind of noise in the background. Like it was literally just background noise without much purpose or intentionality. Maybe it was royalty free, right? I guess this is a pretty small budget, but like at no point did I ever feel in this entire movie that he was actually in this vessel, right? It always felt like a set. The film translation of it, it's way more spacious. There's a couple shots in the film where because of how they framed it, you can see like, okay, dude's got a lot of room. Like he's got plenty of walking space. When you didn't even need a different set. You just needed to use different lenses and frame it differently, right? Like it's a part of the filmmaking process. You can make things feel more claustrophobic than they are. And it was pretty inconsistent in that sense. You saw the cracks in a few different shots where I guess they kind of just forgot. It never felt like, even with the them going to the surface and him talking to those people up there and they're wiping the blood from the window or whatever, the journey from down below to up top, or the journey from up top to down below, it never really felt like he was going to the bottom of a blood ocean. It just felt like, okay, yeah, like a few seconds have passed, you're going a few floors on an elevator, and it just feels like a room. It feels like it never sells its premise of the atmosphere, at least to me. If people were able to get that, then great, but like it's just not escaping what feels like a YouTuber film. It feels identical to something that could have been premiered and released only on YouTube Red back in the day, maybe with just a higher age rating. But in terms of filmmaking, like,
we could put it on his channel.
Literally, yeah. Like, I mean, congrats. People are seeing it. Some people are enjoying it. A good amount of Markiplier fans are enjoying it. Even people that aren't fans of him seem, a good amount seem to be enjoying it. But like, yeah, to me, it's just, it doesn't really feel like it passes the threshold for what I would expect for a movie in a theater that I could see.
I think it's an okay first effort, considering it's his first directorial and writing and like major acting role. It's kind of a big ambitious thing to do, to like cast yourself and be that committed to the bit. But to me, you mentioned how long the game is, and that's my biggest critique of it. Is like, why is this 2 hours and 5 minutes?
Oh
long?
yeah,
it's like there's like an hour maybe. I think there'd be an okay movie or like short or something in here if you like chopped the fuck out of this, like brutally, like just go in there and rip it to shreds. Because I haven't been this bored in the theater for a long time. I was quite happy that my local had installed some kind of newer, comfier chairs. Cause,
nice.
It gets sleepy, real sleepy, because of. And you need subtitles as well because it is mumbly and confusing.
And the
like,
audio mixing.
The audio mixing didn't help. Because, I don't know, there is something kind of likable about the concept to me. The whole, like, Weeping Angels kind of concept of that button that takes the X-ray. There's something there. There's something kind of cool there. The imagery of, like, the bones and these weird, like, faces. And it is cool. But they barely scratch the surface of the horror they could explore with that.
The game did it better, is the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're not adding to any... This film doesn't justify its own existence in any way other than Markiplier made a movie. Like, that's the existence of the film, is Markiplier made a movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I was expecting to be distracted by him more.
Sure.
Like, I feel like it could have been okay if it was, like, tightened up or just have more to it. Because it is a bottle movie, as you said. It's this one environment for the whole thing. That's supposed to be the point. He's like welded in to this submarine. But God, I was craving for some other perspective. And every time a kind of surreal thing happens and you get like a different environment, I was like, oh, thank God.
Children.
Thank God. Yeah, but then you get the child acting.
A tree. What were those about? It was like a flashback.
Yeah. Because about an hour of it has to be like fleshed out, trying to flesh out this character, which was, the more generic stuff of the prisoner being put down there and like, I wasn't actually guilty. All this kind of angle was like very dull to me. Whereas if it could have focused on that atmosphere and made that the key component, I agree with you. It kind of goes some interesting places with the set towards the end, but my patience was so worn thin by then that when you're getting the gallons and gallons of blood, it doesn't really... I was just kind of tired by then.
Yeah, it's numbing. Just detached.
Okay. Interesting. I'm going to push back gently on something you said, Adam.
Sure.
Which was that this wasn't of a quality that you would expect to see in a movie theater. And I'm going to share my opinion on the movie here in a second, but I do think that perspective kind of needs to go away if theaters are going to survive at all in the future, honestly. Like, because...
Oh, come on.
Because I do feel like, yeah, while it is lower budget, and you can definitely feel that it's a lower budget, there are movies that you've seen in theaters, art house films that have a lower budget than this, but they have an acceptable aesthetic of, art house cinema, that to look that way, it is okay and good to see in theaters. However, this film, because it is trying to look more like a bigger budget film, but it doesn't really reach that aesthetic, it's just an attempt, then it's like, well, this shouldn't, this isn't of a quality for movie theaters. I do think that movies like this, and this movie, let's say, like, it reminded me a bit of a Shudder original, and that's not to disparage Shudder originals. There's lots of great horror films and low budget films being put up on Shudder, but I think like I would be thrilled if more Shudder originals were put up on the big screen. You know, I think that to expect everything to have a certain cinema aesthetic quality that we expect of the big budget films to have that kind of quality on the same screens, I feel like we're doing us a disservice. Do you know what I mean?
I know what
don't
you
know.
mean. I'm going to push back a little as well. Because
Oh.
I don't mean to gatekeep. Obviously, you know, I've been championing castration movie, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, that's an art house film example. But I don't think that a look of a film should deny it from being in a movie theater. But I think my criticisms are valid with how it looks because that comes down to intent, right? So a film like, I'm just going to say castration movie, but we can name a million of them. We could say Inland Empire, right? Like it has a look that's an intentional look, and that's how they wanted it to look, right? Where my criticism with Iron Lung, it's shot on a red, right? Which makes it worse than if it weren't, right? Fucking Upstream Color was shot on like literally a GH2, like an ancient, like ancient mirrorless photo camera, like Panasonic Lumix, right? It's about what you do with the equipment, and if this very much is trying to present itself as like a movie feature shot on a red. And yeah, I in terms of things that I would expect from what this is trying to be, it doesn't pass the mark. It doesn't quite get there.
That's true, actually.
So without completely I don't think it shouldn't be allowed in a theater, right? And even, let's say, non-art house films that, look silly, like Who Killed Captain Alex. I saw that in the theater.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I'm glad I saw it in the theater. Yeah. I think anything should be allowed in a theater. I just...
maybe that's what it needed, was to kind of lean into and embrace that kind of lo-fi style a bit more,
nice.
Like the game, like that's kind of what's cool about the game.
That would be actually nice.
Yeah, and considered that with the camera.
That's one of the big things that like struck me about this movie, where there were sequences where I could enjoy it and go like, oh, there's a moment where a little squirt of blood comes through a crack in the window and splashes on his face, and I'm like, that's a nice little like creative moment, like that's expressive and interesting. And there were plenty of moments like that in the movie where I was like, I was entertained. I wasn't like falling asleep, but there was a mixture of that along with this tonal imbalance that was really hard to like reckon with, because on one side it did want to be like this indie horror vibe, where it's like metal and like grimy and uncomfortable, but also with this performance from Markiplier that is trying to be like Harrison Ford, in a way. Like he has quips. He's saying like, "Oh fuck me," like during like multiple times, like
fuck
like
that.
Yeah, like I'm gonna ram it, just like funny quips. That's like
I'm gonna wreck it.
Yeah, like to me that was like the biggest issue, where it's like, okay, I get you're trying to like satisfy two audiences here, that it starts to feel like you're not really reaching either of them completely. It's kind of like a half-hearted effort in that sense. And look, I will say, like, this is a super challenging project for anyone to do well, I think, because it is like a bottle movie. It's one performance. You're relying on a single person's face the entire time to carry you through the entire movie. And Markiplier is not like, he's not known for his acting abilities, and the fact that he was able to carry me through most of it, that's I applaud the effort. But I do think like you can still tell when like raw talent of like one of the best actors is on screen, and he just couldn't pull me in through that movie. There was something kind of like inauthentic in his performance. A little bit.
Entirely. From
the very beginning, there's a lot of sighs and little grunts, and it's like, to stay in that the whole movie, it's kind of tricky. And also like he's either like whispering or yelling his dialogue, like the tone inside the Iron Lung is very like melodramatic and high the entire time. So yeah, it's just like tonally, that was my biggest thing. That was the thing pulling me out of it.
Yeah, it's a huge performance issue. Like Leo won an Oscar for grunting, right? With The Revenant. It's not the fact that it is like grunting or minimal dialogue or anything that's I mean, the script is bad too, but you know, he does this thing throughout the film where I had to think about what his intentions were with this consistent slurred speech kind of drunk performance that he was only giving during certain moments and giving consistently enough with a certain emotion. And I had to realize, oh, his intention is that he's trying to sound like choked up, right? It's like during like an emotional, like, oh, I'm sad, sort of like, I believe that that's the intention, but his performance, I just want to live like that. Not just that line, but lines surrounding it, and it happens multiple times in the film. It is not convincing at all. It's not just unconvincing; like it's bad, it's misguided, it's in the wrong direction. And although, yes, I completely agree, very, very ambitious to be writing, directing, and starring, and just have this passion project and put it out to the world, you know, and put it out open for criticism, right? Ambitious, brave, great. It's also, you know, a little overconfident. There's also some hubris going on in terms of what you're able to offer, right? I think artists, great artists, have to be able to know when and where they need someone else to pick up the slack, right? And that's a thing that you discover by doing, right? Perhaps this project will inspire Mark to be directing other actors in the future, right? One of my biggest criticisms with the album that I released was the mixing. That's something that I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to on my next project because, you know, that criticism is valid and I can, you know, it's not my strong suit. I'm better at composition, right? So yeah, in the same vein, you know, if I think Chris Stuckman's film was really weak in the story in particular, right? Like the script needed to be refined. Yeah, the performance was really bad, and I don't like the people that dismiss it as, oh, it's only because you're familiar with him as Markiplier. I mean, like, not really. I didn't really watch his stuff, right?
Well, that's like you can say that about any actor that you're familiar with from other projects. You know, you're used to like switching.
Like if you've seen a face ever.
Yeah,
it's kind of the major difference with these recent YouTuber movies, right? Is that he's in it. Like Chris Stuckman took a step back. The Racco Bros, they're not in it.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
it's different.
It's in the opening credits, right? When you with the digital clock font and like the epic music, and it's like directed by Markiplier. I'm like, okay, well, you know, that's more of a we premiered it on a YouTube channel and it was produced by YouTube Red or Premium sort of thing, right? Than an attempt at like, oh, okay, this is like. It's trying to be both things at once. It's confused and trying to have its cake and eat it too, in a sense.
Yeah. It would objectively be better if he just splashed for a character actor to sell it with all these restrictions. But then at the same time, he probably knows that it wouldn't be the success it is right now if he did do that.
Sure. Yeah, maybe this is just like the jumping off point he needs to be able to prove that he can be a theatrical success. And then next time he'll get producers and distributors and an advertising budget.
Perhaps.
Yeah, and that's why I don't get too upset about it. Like, I've seen much worse first time like pictures from someone, you know, like
it's better than Space Cop. No, it is. It's literally better than Space Cop.
I've never seen that one. I've only seen reviews of it.
I've never seen it.
Okay, well, it's better than Space Cop. And I love Red Letter Media, so nobody can say like, oh yeah, you're just doing it because you hate Markiplier or something. Like, I want people to do a thought experiment, right? I want everybody who ever watches something, right, especially something that feels as personality driven as starring in it and having your, you know, YouTube name being in the credits, whether or not you love or hate the person that made it, right? If you have strong or even medium feelings in any direction, but you have an opinion of them before going into it, and you either enjoy it or you hate it. What you need to do as a thought experiment to just keep yourself in check, I would encourage everybody to do this. Imagine it was made by somebody that isn't very well liked, right? If it's a well liked person, imagine it, right? Same movie, right? Same performance, same direction, except it's made by pirate software, right? Think about whether or not you would enjoy that film or whether or not you'd be clowning on it. And I'm not saying everybody is doing this. I'm not saying everybody's biased. I would like enough people to be checking with themselves just to make sure, because I feel like I would have the exact same experience with this movie if it was made by pirate software. I feel like I would give the exact same rating to Shelby Oaks if it was made by pirate software, right? Like, to me, I'm like, I want to encourage, judging and engaging with the art and not letting that be clouded as much as your opinion of the artist beforehand. But it's kind of difficult because, you see time and time again, if somebody, does something problematic or whatever, people will kind of retrospectively shit on their work and be like, it was always bad. It's like, okay, well,
Well, Kevin Spacey's always been a bad actor. Everyone knew that. But I know what you mean, but it's like that. This is like humanly impossible. Like you can do it to a degree of like trying to be objective about it. But like there are so many people who are watching this going like, hey, if this is like an original type of movie, self-funded, like this is cool, and we're happy for movie theaters that this is happening and that someone is trying something, and it's like,
Sure.
We like Markiplier as a person, like that's of course going to influence it. I do think that people generally are kind of like having a good time. I do feel like people are satisfied with the product, even if it may not feel exactly like a regular Hollywood film. It's better than Mercy, it's better than this
probably, yeah.
$100 million slop that's been coming out, especially this time of the year. It feels like some passion went into it. And look, there are interesting camera angles and shots and choices in this movie to try to make it feel dynamic inside this one single location. I like when they're out of the water and there's like a little blood droplets coming down the window and they have to keep wiping it during their conversation. Like there are little things that work and lots of things that don't. It's really like a mixed bag to me. And like you were saying, like we were going to talk about the script, like the main issue with the script is that it is just kind of like, and this is hard with any movie when you're trying to like dole out exposition. It's how much do you need to explain about this and how little do you need to explain about this? And it kind of over explains obvious things like the radiation. He takes a photograph of the people when he's up in the lab and they keep talking about it over and he goes, oh, sorry about that. I didn't know that it was a radiation camera. And it's like, yeah, they explained it for like 10 minutes, right? And then later on in the movie, things that needed to be explained a little bit more, which didn't help with kind of the muddled sound design with the voices.
Yeah.
But it's like, it just needed some clarity of like, what is happening in this exact moment? What is his objective? And that would have benefited it greatly.
It was very confusing.
Yeah. Very simple things, but, still like hard to figure out, especially on this scale.
Yeah. I mean, for a movie that repeats information so much, it really should not be this incomprehensible.
It gets really confusing. Yeah.
Somebody made a post on there's an Iron Lung movie subreddit, which has like a bunch of people on it, which is fascinating. And somebody made a post like explaining as best as they could, and it started out with on my first watch, I was very lost and confused, and they talked about how they saw it they literally saw it in theaters 3 times, and then had their best understanding of like what the hell was going on, which is funny to me, right? But it's I'm glad that somebody enjoyed it enough to do that and help people out.
No. And ambiguity is good. Like if you're going for that, like it's going for that cosmic horror element, and there's some of that's intentional for sure. But it's like not all of this was intentionally ambiguous, and you can't really play it off as such.
Sure.
And I really don't think that was the goal. I think it was trying to be very clear about what the ending was implying.
Sure, and I mean, yeah, ambiguity can be very effective, especially if you're being entertained and engaged in the world, and you're, like. Ambiguity works especially well with intrigue. If the audience is wanting more information and actively thinking about the world that it's created, but it's very difficult to get an audience to do that if it's so stagnant, if it's so stale, if it's so repetitive, if it's literally just like, okay, Markiplier is talking to himself and sometimes the radio in a room, some loud music happens and everything's pretty much the same tone throughout the entire movie, and the tone is like, it's intense, but we're staying at this exact same level for pretty much the entire movie, give or take like 1 out of 10 points. And then every once in a while he goes to the back of the fucking room and presses the scary picture slideshow button, and that's it, and that's the whole movie. Right? Like, it's over 2 hours. It's kind of difficult if you want to be vague, especially. Right? There's so much wrong with this.
Yeah, it can't maintain it. And when it has like tension elements like the oxygen bar that's depleting.
Yeah.
And I guess it's minor spoilers, but there's a point where it goes back up, and I was just kind of like, why did that happen?
Mm-hmm. No, the second when he starts questioning the reality of the situation, then it's like, okay, like you can't really do that for the rest of the movie, because then it's like there's no more stakes. Then it's just like magical, anything could happen, you know? Yeah, I mean that's tough, because like, yeah, while this cosmic horror stuff is interesting, like visually and thematically, like you could tell that's like where his heart is with this narrative. It also wants to be kind of like this James Cameron underwater action, like, oh, there's a fire and we gotta, go get the black box, and now we're sinking and all this stuff. It's like, if you're going to have that, but also like, oh, what is real? What's going on? You need to kind of like pick one or the other at some point in the movie. And again, like just the ending, while there was cool shit going on, I was really, and not to spoil anything, I was really into like the kind of what was going on at the end of the film.
We can spoil it. Spoiler section. Okay, everybody, spoilers.
There's lots of blood. There's blood filling up. It's cool.
It's lots of blood.
Yeah, the body horror stuff was more fun.
The
when
body
starts, like,
horror
melting to the pipes and stuff. Yeah, I was kind of, when I started getting that, I was like, where's this been? Like, this is kind of what I was hoping for from this.
Why couldn't have we done this sooner? Yeah, exactly. Instead of like flashbacks to the kids and like a tree that like,
man.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was actually kind of into that navigation scene where he was stuck in the tunnel and trying to figure it out. That sequence was kind of fun to me. I just wish it almost just like started there or something. Like, just fast forward this shit. I didn't need all the preamble and like Jacksepticeye on the line, and it was a bit much.
Was that Jacksepticeye?
Yes.
He played someone called Jack.
Yes.
Actually, is it Jack?
He might have played I assumed so, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, there's a few, like Troy Baker's in there as a voice. Yeah. There's a few kind of notable voices in there.
Fucking Mick Lauer.
I was in a game with him.
Oh, Alana Pierce was in it.
Oh, can I say the voice acting was kind of a little over the top?
Oh yeah,
personally,
the whole thing was fucking over.
Yeah, it's melodramatic.
Very melodramatic.
It's very, very big.
Like, so they're like there's like an ocean of blood. Somebody please help me understand this in the comments section. So it's like a moon is like covered in an ocean of blood, basically. Is there is there parts of the moon that's not blood?
There were like rock formations and stuff, right? Imagine Earth, but instead of water for the ocean, it's blood.
So I'm assuming that's the surface. I was just trying to figure out where the people up top were.
Oh, right. Was it like a... I actually don't know, because you never get establishing shots.
No, and that never happened in the game either. Like, you were never like brought back up and go down. Like, that was something unique to the film. And so I was just trying to imagine like the space of it.
I was just picturing like a boat maybe or something, like in a similar way you'd put a submarine in the ocean.
But they like dragged him back up. Like, they hoisted him, right? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I thought they had control over it.
But that was like the story, right?
I don't remember.
The quiet rapture thing is kind of a cool idea. Like,
yeah.
But I didn't really understand by the end of it how it all wrapped round into what there was at the bottom of the blood ocean that gave them the information that could save humanity.
Oh yeah,
like there was something on that sub.
They do not explain
what.
But maybe that's the
this
intrigue.
Like fish god thing that was like talking to him and trying to stop him.
Yeah.
From spreading this information.
You're not ready for the light.
Also, like, he's being fucked over by these people this whole time. He's trying to escape, and then at a certain point, he's just like, yeah, you know what? This is more important than me. I kind of agree with them. I need to get this black box. That's the most important thing right now. And it's like, I didn't buy that. Like, fuck these people.
Yeah, I don't really
want
know.
them to get the black box.
now that you mention it, like, we don't really understand his character much at all. Like, I guess he feels some sense of guilt for like a thing that might have been partially his fault that killed some people. And he's like, it was an
Not
accident, but
explained.
that's like
Yeah.
why he's in prison, I guess.
Yeah, there was like a space station or something that
Yeah.
exploded.
Yeah, like I don't know how many humans are left. Like, what's the ratio of like prisoners to non-prisoners right now?
We either needed more of that or none of it.
I just wanted to understand
Yes,
his
exactly.
character a bit better, you know? Like,
Yeah.
but it never really felt
Or
like a character.
nothing, you know?
Or none, yeah. Or just keep it.
It just felt like
minimal.
Markiplier.
Uh-huh. I kind of would have liked it if he sided with the weird demon thing. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Because that's kind of,
Actually.
it seemed like that's where it was going, with like that creature being like, no, you you can't reveal this information because something will happen.
Yeah. And he like melds into it, and he like has this god vision, and he destroys. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd buy that.
I don't know why the horror movie needed to have the kind of hopeful ending necessarily.
Yeah.
Right. Well, because that's like the tone he's going for. He's like an action movie star in the movie. Like he kind of plays it with this like swaggering
takes his
Harrison
shirt off.
Ford. Right,
Yeah.
right. He needs to be a little cool.
No, I noticed that when you search on like Google and type iron lung Markiplier, one of the suggested searches is shirtless. So
I'm
he's got
looking
that
that
sex
up
appeal,
right now.
Yeah. I don't know. His performance in this movie felt indistinguishable from times where he's been acting and it's been for comedy projects. Right? Like I didn't see
He's
like a
funny
shift
guy.
in terms of like how he was delivering lines. And I think that in order to, especially if you have like a history being a comedic personality, I think you need to, you know, be as talented as maybe like Bryan Cranston to be able to really you know, change trajectory on your career and have people take you more seriously. At least from my experience.
There was actually a moment of humor that I liked. I remember towards, when he finds the other submarine and he's got to like remember this passcode or something to like get into this computer. There was like a funny little moment where he acknowledges that she said it too quickly or something. And
that was
kind of funny.
That was one of few notable moments.
Because something was happening, something like notable and like understandable. Yeah. Oh, it's progressing. We found like another submarine. They lied to him. They said he was the first one going down. That's kind of interesting, This, classic, the big corpo thing is lying to you, and this sort of thing, alien or whatever.
Well, how was your audience in your theaters?
There was one other person. I saw it at like midday. Yeah, there was no reaction really from me.
There were like teens in my audience, and they were just kind of like talking a lot throughout the movie, and kind of giggling, just like as teenagers will while they're watching a movie. I think they were generally enjoyed it, but you could tell there was kind of a feeling of like, oh, okay, how long is this?
Yes.
How much more is left? I was thinking, what would be I was thinking about actors who would have been really good in this. And of course, there's a ton of them, but like around Markiplier's age. And I kept thinking like Dev Patel, he'd be really good in this.
Sure.
Daniel Radcliffe would even be good in this.
Sure. Any real actor would be good in it.
Okay. Okay, maybe that's unfair.
Well, I was thinking about like, I don't think you like it, Adam, but that film Locke with Tom Hardy, that's like all in one Locke perspective.
I would love it. Well, I wouldn't hate it if the soundtrack wasn't so shit. That's the one deciding factor for me.
Because I remember enjoying it, especially that performance. Someone of that caliber, like in this, maybe could make it work and carry it on their shoulders.
Yeah. Also, sorry, but I was just going to add to why I don't like Locke. I didn't like the character, but yeah, go on. I don't need to review it.
I just think like this it's amazing what you can do with like a performance that isn't from a professional actor, but it's like still very committed, and it carries you some of the way, but it's like you can still feel the sense of like, a trained professional actor at the top of their craft would have added so much to this movie. And I think a lot of times, especially as like film critics or whatever, we take for granted how much actors really are just amazing. Like the best actors, there's such a huge difference between someone who's like pretty good and someone who's incredible. And that changes an entire movie. Like this could have been like so much better with a different performance right in the center of it,
Still the script, though.
The script is, I mean, it's the script and it's the performance. But I guess I was just thinking about like having respect for like the craft of acting. It's just like, I don't know.
For sure.
I don't know how they do it.
I agree, right? Some actors are even director proof in that sense, where they can still be like an amazing performance in a movie where everybody else sucks because the director sucks, sort of thing, and they just stand out because they know what they're doing. This film, I just like, from concept, in order for this to work in any way, it has to understand that it is a performance-driven, script-driven, tone-driven film, right? Like it's not like an action-packed, like fucking visual special effects spectacle or anything. Like, it's not Avatar. Like, it needs to be able to refine those basic elements in order to be compelling. And I don't know, like I'm noticing that Markiplier is the editor on the film as well. Like, he just, I don't think he understands the just how to trim things down and to refine things in a proper way. And again, I mean, the performance, it wouldn't even matter if he did refine it with the performance like that. It's just, I'm not trying to be mean, everybody. I'm just being honest. Like fucking Andre 3000.
Hey, how about this? Okay, fan casting the perfect actor for this movie. Ryan Reynolds, I think, right? I mean, he that would have been so much
Kevin
funnier
Hart
too.
Yeah,
Kevin Hart. Or even The Rock. I mean, he might not fit in there, but
all right.
All three of them. That would be cool.
Well, I mean, we should probably wrap this up. I'm not mad about this film. I wasn't angry, but like,
You're just disappointed.
I wasn't disappointed. My expectations were really, really low. Like, I watched the trailer and, seeing when you see an IMDb or, Letterboxd user rating, and it's like, okay, wow, huge fan base for this guy, and only fans of him have seen it so far, and it's not like a particularly high rating, then I know I'm in for kind of a slog, right? Especially just from the trailer, and I just heard it was boring. So I set my expectations at a comfortable place that helped me stay sane, because I knew no matter how many times the movie felt like it was ending, it probably wasn't. I put myself in a mindset where I was expecting to be there for potentially 5 years. And that's how I stayed sane, was knowing, okay, no, I'm not expecting it to end right now. I know it feels like it might be ending. No. That happened like 10 different times. And if I allowed myself to get tricked, then I would have had a much more miserable time. Instead, I was more just like kind of just passively fascinated. And, there were some walkouts in the theater. A group of 3 left potentially halfway through. I don't know if it was halfway through or 10% or 90% through. There was no real way to tell time. One of the women in my row started getting very... what's the word? She was looking for some kind of stimulation.
Fidgety?
So yeah, fidgety. She started just like loudly banging her foot on the floor, which was kind of funny. I don't think she realized she was making noise. I think she was just kind of like in a get me out of here moment in her head.
Yeah. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
'Cause I was trying to resist looking at my watch for a lot of the runtime. I got like a little Casio watch with a little button to light it up. And I did it and was like, whoa, hold up. There's not like 40 minutes of this shit left, is there? You're kidding me, right? Yeah, the pacing is like so bad.
It's too bad I didn't have the mercy timer at the top corner of the screen,
I'm excited for that movie. It's going to be bad, but...
For what?
Because I'm waiting for the digital. It might be out now, actually. I don't know. It seems like it probably wouldn't.
I wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
Oh my, can we talk about it?
Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll watch it for next.
Okay.
Yeah, It felt like a fucking low 2 out of 10 for me. And then when I saw the end credits shot on a red, I was like, okay, well, high 1. But now after this conversation, when you reminded me that, yes, there was an attempt at having, different camera angles, different perspectives, even though it didn't always work, and it rarely felt like motivated. It's like, okay, wow, this is a really low angle here. Is there a reason why? I don't know. At least it wasn't so stagnantly shot, and I appreciate the effort. So I'm bringing it back up to a low 2 out of 10.
Whoa!
Hooray.
Wow! All right, rave review. Okay, I changed your mind. I'm giving this a 5 out of 10. I feel like it's truly a mixed bag. Like there are choices in it that I really admire and appreciated, and just so much of it that was just, not the best, but not the worst either. So there you go. Alex?
Yeah, and I'm somewhere in between you guys. I'll probably give this a 2-star. I didn't mention what I thought of Shelby Oaks when that came out, because I hadn't seen it yet, but I've seen it now, and I think it's about on the same level for me as far as like how much I respect it and like the people involved and whatnot. But at least that film knew when to. It's just it really ruins films for me when they outstay their welcome, because I do think, I agree with you guys, there's especially Jake, there's stuff in there to like, for sure. I do like when it gets all kind of gooey and bloody towards the end, and the concepts are cool, and I do like that mapping out sequence and this kind of stuff. But yeah, it needs to be chopped down at least an hour.
I would say the ideal length would be like 10 minutes, personally. Honestly, I'm not even kidding. It would have been a great 10-minute film.
I think you could do an hour. I genuinely think you could do an hour with this, or up the budget by like 10 million and up the scale of it a little bit, and kind of show you a bit more, or have a different perspective, or flesh something out in a different way, or it's not nothing to me. It's perfectly respectable for a first outing, and I just don't know where he comes from as a filmmaker. It's like, is this a new path he wants to go down? Does he want to now make horror movies? Because I'd be down, and I'd like to see what he learns from this, because horror does seem to be the genre if you want to jump into these films. Like all of these YouTuber movies we've been talking about, they're all horror. I think that's for a reason. It's quite a flexible, forgiving genre in a lot of ways. And I'm just not mad about it, really.
Yeah, same. It's nothing to be angry about.
Although I am kind of, the only thing I'm a little bit just like, come on guys, let's check this. All the articles kind of framing it as a rags to riches type thing. When look up his net worth and stuff, it's
riches
like,
to riches.
come on guys, come on. It's not that surprising that it's doing that.
That is what's interesting about it, is because it is unlike something like Raka Raka and Chris Dugman, they went through sort of like traditional means somewhat, with like Neon and A24. This was like fully sold as like a Markiplier thing. This is like the parasocial relationship coming out to perform and bringing along other people because it's theatrically shown. I think like the smartest thing in the world was him getting this shown theatrically, because if this was just put on Amazon or something, no way would be people talking about it. I mean, it was just like a brilliant move that he was able to convince these theaters to show it.
Mm-hmm. Just much less risky compared to these other YouTuber movies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he has a built-in audience. Yeah.
I enjoy that it is a thing that people can watch in theaters, and I would only want that expanded. I'm just saying, for what I would expect at the current, it does feel out of place. Is in what it's trying to be.
And Alex, when you direct and star in your Bionicle live action adaptation, I will be sad, and we will, the masses will come out to come see your film.
Will you guys watch Synecdoche Part 6 when I put it in theaters?
Oh, is it, you got the theater deals lined up?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no, I'm sad. I'm there.
I could premiere it at like a New York film festival, and then maybe it'll be a part of the meta commentary for Charlie Kaufman to show up and watch it.
Ooh. I think you got to get Charlie Kaufman in it,
He already is.
Oh, okay.
We all are.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. I see what you mean there. Okay. Well, are we talking about a movie called Send Help?
All right. Send Help. When I posted my video, people were complaining that they thought it was a genuine notification that I was actually trying to get help.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam Raimi. I like this.
Yeah.
You like the movie?
It was good.
I did like the movie. It's been a long time since we've had one of his horror movies. I guess Drag Me to Hell was his last non-Marvel affair. And I liked it. I don't think it was quite as good as Drag Me to Hell, and I don't think it's going to be necessarily like a modern classic, but I enjoyed my time with this. I was saying about how my audience for Iron Lung was dead silent. There were like 2 people there, but this was packed. The energy was awesome.
Nice.
It was very unique, actually, for a UK showing or something. People were cackling. They were loving it. And I was cackling along with a lot of the jokes of the movie. I like the tone a lot. I like the jokes. I like the movie. I like these lead 2 performances. And Iron Lung being a bottle movie, this is somewhat of one too. Them trapped on an island, a little bit of Castaway, a little bit of Evil Dead, a little bit of Triangle of Sadness. I dug this.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I thought this was really fun, a really solid movie. I thought that the script was like pretty tight, and it kept surprising me, you know, because I feel like there's a version of this movie that was like very simple, like Misery style horror movie where it's like, okay, the dynamic is shifted. We have the bad boss and we have the like virtuous office worker, and they've switched roles. Now she's like in charge because she's an expert at surviving and he is a loser on this island, and she can just torture him now. But it took so many different directions. That dynamic kept shifting and changing, you know, information getting revealed. And I liked so much how much is like playfully kept away from the audience in that classic like Sam Raimi way of like, I'm just going to toy with you. I just felt like he was having a fun time. Like that's what this whole movie felt like. It was just like over the top schlocky 90s horror type of like fun. I think it achieved exactly what it wanted to. I think there were some issues with like, you know, lower budget stuff. You know, some of the CG wasn't amazing. But yeah, like the performances just, you know, worked so well for me. Rachel McAdams is just wonderful and so charismatic, and watching her transformation is so fun. And the actor Dylan O'Brien is just, he's incredible. He's so fun.
He's really good.
He is so funny. He's almost like a Bruce Campbell kind of style of performance in this movie. Like it really, I watched this and I'm like, yeah, this feels like a fucking Sam Raimi movie. And I was really happy with it. Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Wow.
And I was excited for it more than anyone. Well, not more than anyone, but
okay.
I was pretty excited for it because I love Sam Raimi, and I you know, wanted to see another horror comedy joint from him. But I mean, yeah, as you said, doesn't quite strike the same blank word I can't think of. I don't know why. It doesn't quite hit the same threshold as Drag Me to Hell or Evil Dead or any of his other films that I love. I think the biggest problem that I had was the script, because, you know, I agree. Performances were great. Rachel McAdams was having a lot of fun. Dylan O'Brien was pretty fun as well. But I wish that their characters' performances were in service of interesting characters. They felt really, really flat. They did not feel properly fleshed out at all. It was pretty much at a same level of like, oh, okay, they just, you know, hate each other at work because he's mean to her. Things were established at the beginning, but it never really felt like anything was fully fleshed out. And sure, for like a horror comedy that's trying to be camp and cheese, you don't necessarily have to do like an entirely artistic approach in that sense, but it felt really flat in terms of what they were trying to communicate in the script. Like, did you guys feel like the weird like romantic angle worked at all? Like, spoilers, everybody, at the end where they're saying like, I love you, like that feels like not properly developed at all. Like, sure, it's just so weird
because he's lying to her. I mean, we know that it's fake, like at that point. But like earlier in the film, there's a moment where it's like, oh, are they having some kind of attraction to each other? And that's right before he decides to drug her with the fucking mushrooms, and then says, fuck you, Linda, and goes out on his little boat. It like
the way the film is presented, it like toys with that expectation. Like when they enter the cave and they're having like, it presents it as if there is some sort of sexual tension between them, and it feels like really unnecessary and ham-fisted.
Okay.
Really, I felt like that was sprinkled just enough, especially with earlier in the movie where she's anticipating the promotion, and she's like, oh, this hot guy is like gonna. So she had some kind of affection there already. I bought that. Right. They were there for weeks and weeks within the timeline of the movie. Yeah. There was something believable about that to me as they started sort of losing hope, or the idea that they wouldn't interact with somebody again. I bought into that side of it.
Also, just like Stockholm syndrome of him being like, "Oh, you're my mom," almost like she's feeding him fish and he's like a little baby now. Like,
I never bought it. I wish this was a movie that cared more about the details, really, because I didn't believe that they were on an island for the vast majority of it. It felt like a lot of the cinematography was just trying to find ways to not show the environment because they weren't actually there, right?
No, they filmed parts of it on an actual island,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure, like on beaches and stuff,
Yeah, not an island, but on a beach, yeah.
I guess, I was so bought into the tone, that kind of stuff didn't bug me that much.
Yeah,
I wish.
When it has like the goofiness of, because I watched your review earlier, Adam, with the hand sticking out of the ground with the diamond ring and whatnot. I love that imagery of that being there and the way that came about. And as Jake was saying with the...
Yeah, it's an Evil Dead reference.
yeah. With the allegiance like shifting as the movie goes along. But what you're saying about the lack of depth with these characters, the moment in the middle where they kind of get drunk on the homemade alcohol, I thought was a nice, alluring... Like, oh, like I don't actually know kind of who I support anymore. And it would do that a few times. And it was kind of interesting, a way I didn't expect for how kind of bog standard it could have been with the way that went. And I found that really satisfying and kind of unpredictable as a result.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that surprised me. I did feel, there's more character depth here than in probably most or a lot of Sam Raimi movies where like, that's like kind of not really the point in like the Evil Dead movies and stuff. But like this, I do think like that tension and the shifting dynamic is super important. Like the moment when Linda sees someone's actually looking for them, when she finally has that decision of like, I'm not going to tell them about it. Like that's a moment where we're kind of like questioning the morality of these characters and whose side are we on. And like, that's what is, I think, so good about this script and why I think Sam Raimi is like the perfect person to be paired with it. And I think in terms of like the character details that you're talking about, Adam, and things that are lacking, I am curious, like what do you think we should have learned about more about these characters? Because I think what I enjoyed about like maybe the flatness, but I would say more like the archetype style of these characters, like they're playing into these archetypes of like he's the loser and she's or he's the boss and she's the loser and he's this yuppie asshole. And I thought that they played into that intentionally. I never felt like it was like a failing of the film, but like they're playing into this like movie tone. We're in movie world. I never felt like, oh, this is unrealistic.
Correct. To me, it comes down to how aspects of the film are motivated through these characters. So what you just mentioned with her deciding to not get saved, she sees like, oh, there's another boat. And I forget the line she says. She's like, not yet. Right. If that happened later in the film, like that was so early for that character decision to happen that it didn't really feel motivated by anything. Like it would have been so much more interesting if we had these moments that came later in the film where she might go out on a limb and like trust him a bit and think that he's turning around, and then he betrays her in a way, like the poisoning sort of thing. Like if any of that took place after, then it would feel more relatable to see this character do that. But instead it's kind of just like, oh, okay, I guess she's crazy. And this was like not that far into the movie at all. Like barely anything had happened. He hadn't really done anything that was inconsistent with the rest of their office dynamic, right? By the time that they are doing interesting things, developing these characters, like that scene where they're drinking at night, it's so far through the movie, and I wish we got any of that earlier, right? I wish that they weren't kind of I wish that they weren't insisting so much before they were actually earning it, right? It's in the wrong order in terms of developing for me, anyway.
Yeah, I guess that just didn't bother me as much.
Yeah, me neither. It was the only thing that really bothered me about the film was the CG. I really wish there was some level of practical commitment to it. There were a couple of moments like in the plane scene that the rubbery CG kind of almost worked with that cartoonish tone that it's going for, and that whole gag, the sight gag there was like, that was really funny. That was one of my favorite jokes in the movie, with the getting caught on the outside of the window and her closing it. I thought that was great. There's a few good gags like that, but like the whole CG pig stuff I wasn't that into, and CG blood and this kind of stuff. If that was all like practical, and the weird opening, I was a little bit concerned with the AB camera thing.
Yeah,
that was like, oh no!
Thank you for not gaslighting me about that.
No, but then when it got to the tuna scene, I was like, oh cool! Like, this is the Raimi I want to see, and I felt like that was the energy that I got for the majority of it. Outside of that opening, I don't know what that was about, because otherwise, there's loads of really fun, inventive camera work to like communicate time passing, and it was like varied to the shot variety and some really funny gags, like linked to cuts and stuff like that. It was really creative and fun for that.
Like the zombie fiance.
yeah.
Jump scare.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't entirely dislike the movie. Like, there's parts that I enjoyed. The parts that I enjoy the most are all the Raimi-isms, right? all of the parts where it's clear that Raimi either, it was the reason for him choosing the script, or diverged or whatever. He has his own signature fascinations, his motifs, his trademarks. And any point where it was clear that it was him, I was enjoying myself. Not because it was him, but, I watched the movie because I enjoy the types of things he does. I wasn't really bothered by the CG pig. I felt like I was having fun with that scene for, the same reasons why you guys weren't as bothered about some of the character writing and how things were ordered. Because to me, watching that pig scene, again, like, I'm in a movie universe. I don't have to believe it's a real pig. It's just a fun excuse for a silly scenario, some action, some blood, some gore. And I'm not expecting there to be like a real sense of stakes at that moment. I'm just expecting some fun, squeamish stuff. And I got that. I got some fun, squeamish stuff out of it as well. I just feel like in terms of like an entire film experience, like, this was a very repetitive movie. I didn't feel like things were building in any kind of effective way, right? It really felt like much of the movie either could have been reordered or very much should have been reordered. I don't know. It fell short of what it had the potential to be, and the script was a big part of that for me.
All right.
Yeah, I kind of felt an escalation to it. So many good scenes in there. The fake out castration is such a good
that was
moment. The close up on his face and everything is great performances there. Loads of memorable stuff. I really like it.
That's not how a blue ringed octopus works. You're not supposed to be able to breathe either. You need whatever. Sorry.
I mean, I love how she's like making sushi in her little cup with her name on it. Like, it's just so cartoonish. Like, it's like Bugs Bunny like levels of like how competent she is on this island.
Yeah. There's like some Looney Tunes-esque stuff at moments.
Yeah, it is Looney Tunes-esque.
I wish it was wackier, and I wish it was crazier. I wish I cared more about the characters. I think at the end of the day, my detachment from the overall experience of the movie is just a detachment from these characters. I wish they were more interesting, or that I cared enough about whether one of them did anything, one lost or I just, not related.
You just want it to be two Markipliers on the island.
Yeah. Did you want Linda to turn to the camera and just like implicate us in her crimes?
Sure. Yeah. Hit the rewind.
She kind of does that at the end of the film. She looks at the camera.
You're next. I mean, like, I'm not incapable of liking schlock and fun and stuff. This one did not connect with me.
Okay,
that's fair enough.
Favorite Raimi movie, fellas?
I mean, I fucking love Drag Me to Hell.
It is good, but I think I might have to go Spider-Man 2, personally. I think the Doc Ock stuff is so good.
Yeah.
Man, it's so good.
Like, both of them have a special place in my heart for different reasons. Spider-Man's more nostalgic for sure. But yeah, I mean, I love the Evil Dead trilogy as well. Like, there's
Mm-hmm.
they're all good for different reasons. I don't know if I have like a clear favorite. If we look at my ratings, I guess Army of Darkness is the only one that's a 9, but like I would have to rewatch that because I don't know when that rating's from.
No love for Oz the Great and Powerful?
No.
That's just the one we don't talk about.
I never watched it.
No,
actually.
Jesus Christ.
Don't.
It's so fucking bad. Made me depressed for a week.
Really bad.
Yeah. I would say probably Evil Dead 2. I mean, come on. But yeah, the Spider-Man trilogy is so good. It's some of the best superhero movies. Like, they're never going to top that. But Evil Dead 2, yeah. I mean,
people are talking about the open matte version, the 35 millimeter scan of Spider-Man.
oh yeah, what is that all about? Why are people into that now?
So it's kind of
matte.
interesting. So there's like clips of it online. I'll actually share one with you in the chat in a second. But basically, just because people back in the day, you would have a lot of films shot in a way where you'd be able to release it theatrically, but also have it ready for like home video aspect ratio, and so they would kind of shoot it in both ways at once. And so the widescreen is like actually the cropped version, which is kind of interesting, which is like the opposite of films that were shot for widescreen and then later cropped for home video televisions, because everybody's TV was like 4:3 at one point in this generation. And so the original 35 millimeter theatrical scans that a theater would use, the way that they enforce an aspect ratio at a theater is basically the theater itself would like crop it out. So the actual print and scan has the full frame that's even more showing more than even the home video release. So you actually see things like boom mics and just things in it. Like you'll see, if you notice in this clip, you can see when he's like catching the tray and the fruit, you can see someone's like hand like throwing one of the things too. But yeah, like it's kind of it's what I like about it is that it almost kind of like it gives it a weirder, more different vibe, and it kind of turns
this is cool
Spider-Man into like almost like an art house film, and it's a good quality scan too. Let me know if you guys want to check it out, because I might have some info on how to do that, because I would love to just watch this entire movie like that. It kind of seems fun.
Yeah, I would watch this.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, seeing the boom there is fun.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, especially if you're already a big fan of the movie and it's it's not your first time watching it, sort of thing. Send help. Yeah, I wanted to like it more. Was frustrated at it and just wish I connected with it. 4 out of 10.
Let's get you drunk and you can watch it again. It'll bump it up a little bit.
No.
Okay. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm slightly below that. Be like a 3.5 star or 7. It was solid. I'm glad to see him back making movies of this tone, this kind of silly and cartoonish and self-aware. I could do with one of these every couple years, and I hope that's what happens.
Yeah. Same. I hope Raimi gets to do more of these types of movies.
Sure,
he loves doing it.
Yeah, I would still continue watching his films even if they were all this. It's not like the worst thing you could watch in a theater.
Nope. Yeah. Absolutely not. Yeah. Well, Adam.
Yeah.
I recommended a movie that I had never seen before, but it was on my list because I love this director, Lee Chang-dong, South Korean director who has made films like Burning with Steven Yeun and Secret Sunshine, which is maybe my favorite of his. I don't know. Incredible movie. And then, others, Poetry, Peppermint Candy, and etc. But he makes films that I consider to be very, very, very just incredibly thoughtful and well made and interestingly presented, and I feel as though he knows how to like emotionally stab me, which I like.
Okay.
And so this was on my watch list and I didn't know much about it, and very challenging and weird and unique and interesting and bold. I loved it, and I'm curious what you both thought about it. It's about, I'll just read the IMDb description. An irresponsible and childish ex-con befriends a girl with cerebral palsy and develops a progressively stronger bond with her. That's the description.
Do you want to go first, Jake?
Do I have to?
Oh no, you guys hated it.
No.
Okay, no, you go.
Okay, I did not hate it. Actually, I liked it, but I have complicated feelings about it because it's there are parts of it that I didn't love, and I think it is kind of intentionally complicated, and it's like challenging the viewers in some ways. You know, like are we doing full spoilers or are we just talking about it?
We'll do full spoilers in a bit. We'll give our basic thoughts first.
Following the main character, I really liked the storytelling. It felt very like naturalist, very almost like Mike Lee-esque in the way we're following these kind of like people on the fringes. This guy, he just arrives into town and he's doing things that are like, okay, he clearly doesn't have money, and just kind of like not being told exactly what's going on, but just kind of like intuiting who this guy is, his relationship to his family and everything. And you really build up sympathy to this guy who's probably some kind of neurodivergent or have some kind of, there's something
on the spectrum
about him.
Somewhere
on the spectrum, something like that. And he's having trouble, relating to society. We learned that he was in jail for like 2.5 years. And you really hate how his family treats him. And then he meets a woman with cerebral palsy, who he's connected to through what happened, why he's in jail a little bit. And relationship forms, basically. How that relationship starts is, to me, like definitely the most disturbing part of this film, and was like really shocking and holy shit. And then this might be a weird comparison, but do you guys know the movie Sunrise, the silent film?
No.
F.W. Murnau. Okay, well, not to spoil that movie, but there's yeah, absolutely. Okay. It's a masterpiece. But there's something that the character does early in that film that is horrifying in a different way. And then we kind of like rebuild our sympathy towards that character along the way and their romantic relationship. So this kind of does a similar thing in a way. But I have some kind of like, makes you feel icky and like makes me question. And I understand why people would find it morally like offensive. I personally, I think that it's important for art to do things that aren't necessarily like morally, just trying to satisfy and morally neat. Exactly. Exploring characters that are on this spectrum of, moral ambiguity. Yes. And this guy is not all evil, and the way that it's explored in their complicated relationship and how the movie deals with and talks about disabilities, and it really explores the world from the perspective of this woman with cerebral palsy, and how she reacts to this horrible thing that is done to her is complicated and hard to parse and discuss. So beyond that, like there were some like more fantastical elements that the movie does specifically relating to her cerebral palsy and how the performance is that I kind of took issue with, that kind of pulled me out of the film a little bit.
Sure.
And was a bit cute, quote unquote cute. But overall, I did think that it was a pretty good movie. And it definitely left an impact. So job done. It definitely achieved something. I'm definitely not going to forget seeing this.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, it certainly leaves an impact. That's for damn sure. And I've never experienced this emotional journey with a film before. and I'm not sure if it's positive, because there is an elephant in the room here, and I just can't help this feeling that if that elephant in the room wasn't in the movie in the same way, then there would be a different impact, because I'm trying to like just break it down in my head and figure out what it's trying to say with that specific plot inclusion that I'm sure we'll delve into shortly, what it means and what it's trying to say with that, because I find it difficult to find like an intent or meaning that does explore anything that complicated. In fact, including it makes it kind of more confusing on an emotional level that it wouldn't be for me, because it makes it, with how naturalistic it is put together, it makes certain things about the movie kind of make less sense to me with the way it resolves, with how certain characters react to things. It's such an uphill battle, not only starting from that elephant in the room scene, but from the very beginning with this lead character. You're given some information that's kind of like, they're probably saying this for a reason, right? Where's this going to go? And you mentioned Mike Leigh, and I was thinking about Naked specifically.
Right.
I remember a similar kind of conversation coming up. But the film is not a romance movie, really. It's more about kind of like rambling philosophy and this kind of thing. It's so that point of it trying to be this earnest kind of inclusive, thoughtful perspective movie was not working for me after that point, despite the fact I think there are 10 out of 10 scenes in here. There's incredible filmmaking in here, incredible performances. So much about it is a movie that should exactly be for me, and I can't help but feel like maybe because of the time it was released, or I don't know what that decision was about, but I'm really struggling to break this one down.
Go for it.
It's not even necessarily the subject matter, because like this is England and Clockwork Orange and all these intense films cover stuff like that, but I feel like there's more of a through line or consequence, or I don't know, sort of a meaning to it that I can interpret that I just don't feel like I'm getting from this, that I certainly would otherwise.
I think we can do a spoiler talk if you want to just get into it.
Let's do it. Adam, did you like this film?
Yes, I loved it.
Okay, great.
What's the... You got it? No, Alex, talk about the elephant in the room.
How do we narratively justify it? So the framing of the beginning of the movie, you're told that this main character committed a hit and run. He was drunk, somebody was killed, and he's let out of jail. That's when we are introduced to him, and he sees, because of how he's inclined, that it would be a good idea to go to where this family of this person he killed lives, to kind of apologize or try and make amends in the only way he knows how. And when he's there, he sees the woman. And then I guess figures out that there's a key to get into the apartment from a neighbor, and then later returns, breaks in, and then tries to give her some flowers. And because she's on the floor barefoot, and he kind of starts kissing her foot and just being a creep.
Straight to the feet, and no hesitation.
Yep, and I mean it escalates extremely quickly, and this is a really disturbing, upsetting scene, especially because that character has not been fleshed out at this point at all. You haven't even seen her speak. You don't even know if she can speak or communicate. So there's just a level of horror and intensity to it that, I just don't understand why it needed to be executed in that way, or what narratively justifies that, when I feel like if they wanted to communicate that he struggles with like reading other people or interpreting body language or something, I feel like something like that happening after they already had a little bit of rapport and he was like misreading something, there would be a more kind of complex way to break that down instead of this almost like black and white morality as to what is going on there, because I don't know what is it saying with this. It takes the moral complexity out for me, and it seems like a cop out with the way it resolves too, because it doesn't really. It feels like it just doesn't address it really at all after that point.
Yeah, I think, like for me, it was like, yeah, he attempts to rape her, and then she struggles so much that he stops. He leaves, and then
Oh yeah, because she faints. She passes out.
She passes out. Yeah, I mean, it is really like shown in full. It's very, very, very like, yeah, it's very upsetting for anyone to watch. And then after that, like we kind of see her dealing with this, and the thing is, like, we don't really get that much inside of her head throughout the film as much.
Yeah.
But we do see, like, after this, she's like getting dressed up and trying to put on lipstick, and it's like he left his phone number there. He's like, it's like, what does he expect to get out of this interaction? Like he's clearly there's clearly something where he does have trouble understanding like social cues in general, but it's like this was a step way beyond that. And we also learned that he had multiple repeat felonies for attempted rape, or one of them was attempted rape, then it was assault and battery, and then he had the manslaughter with drunk driving, which turns out wasn't actually him. He just took that for his brother, which we learn later. That's like a big moment. But the fact that he does have this quality to him, it's like, I feel like the movie then after that point is like less interested in her perspective of experiencing this, because then it just kind of like, yeah, like Alex, it doesn't really feel addressed again. And it almost feels like a sick joke in a little bit of a way, when at the end of the film, when they are having consensual sex, that's when he is,
yeah, is it like just supposed to be dramatic irony?
Yeah, and it just feels like, and I know it's going for this tragic, like sweeping romantic, like sadness, but it's like, man, I don't know. Like there are times in this movie where it does just kind of feel like there's a lot of empathy towards her character, but it does feel like she's sort of an object at times. And I don't know how much of that is intentional by the film or is just like an oversight. Like we do see how much, like, one thing I will say about that scene, that the disturbing scene, is that it did open my eyes and like made me think about disabled people and how vulnerable they are, and I know that's part of the point of this movie, like it is so upsetting because you do see how vulnerable they are and mistreated by society. But then this character that we're following, our main guy, it's like, it's hard for me to buy into this romance, and it just feels, again, so weird. And that would be fine, again, if it was like a naked type of like Mike Leigh film where it's like, we're not really, it's not a romance film, that's like different. Like, and there are poetic moments in this film where there's like CGI birds flying around and butterflies. And then there's moments when the actress who has cerebral palsy, she doesn't have cerebral palsy, the character does, but there are moments when she no longer has that, like fantasy moments when they're just dancing or hanging out. And I just didn't really buy into that. It felt a bit like you're like, what are we going for? Like I really just, by the end of it, the film, like I didn't feel that kind of like aching sadness of romance. I just felt like really shitty and bad for her. You know what I mean? Like it's just punishing.
It's trying to explore what feels like a gray area of these people in society that are abused, and their family are horrible and awful to them.
Yeah.
But I just feel like including that scene specifically takes away some of that grayness. I think it would have been a lot more interesting if maybe you open the film the same way, imply he has a criminal past, maybe even still including the kind of sex crime stuff.
Yeah.
But leave it open to interpretation, and then leave it up to me to see like where this goes. Because it's not about like cartoonish good and evil stuff. But then it's also trying to be a romance thing, and I've never experienced this before, where this would be just straight up like a 4-star for me, if not for that, because I feel like the tragedy part of it would actually hit then. If it was exactly the same, but that one scene wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Or was it justified in a different way or at a different point or something? Because it makes the whole kind of thesis kind of not work for me. I just can't buy into him.
Right. How did you feel about the more fantastical elements of fantasy sequences? Do you think that worked with the naturalist tone?
I think in general, yes. I liked the baby elephant one in particular, with the kid dancing. I get what you were saying with, I don't know, there is something a little bit kind of too much for me. With, I don't know. I've never had a scene just like sideswipe me, and then I'm like, I just don't really buy into this. I don't know what I'm supposed to take from this, and then the whole way it concludes with them being arrested, and it's established that she can't really exonerate him because when she's distressed, she finds it more difficult to communicate.
Yeah,
but we are shown earlier in the movie that she can talk. She can give her opinion on things.
Yeah, only with scenes with him though.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt kind of conveniently wrapped up that way, and I just wasn't buying into the world, I guess, by that point.
Sure. I do feel as though, from my perspective, that scene, agreed, very disturbing. That's what makes it a challenging narrative for me. I do disagree that it would be more nuanced and gray without it. I think that contributes to the grayness of this story that it's telling, right? And not to say that the character deserves that, or that rapists are great guys and redeemable. It's we're following a character who is very clearly disturbed, right? He's mentally disturbed. He's somewhere on the spectrum, has very very apparent impulse control and aggression issues. And he struggles in ways, and not to forgive him for doing an attempted rape that doesn't go anywhere. But I don't know, you like Old Boy, right? That's another movie from around the same time period that also has a main character that literally does the same thing. Sorry, spoilers for Old Boy. It's it's not it's pretty early in the movie, but and we do there is more to justify it in that sense, because it's okay, dude's been locked away for 15 years. But I think similarly, this is a character where even if he hasn't been literally locked away by I'm not even going to say too much about Old Boy, but even if he wasn't confined to one room for 15 years, the way that they communicate his character, even just dialogue referring to his character, they say multiple times. There's his brother, I forget exactly what he said verbatim, but he said something to the effect of, you try not to exist in a way that impedes on my life, or that gets in the way of my life, right? This is a character that's always, through every step that he takes, being an inconvenience to someone. He's clearly just not relating to the world around him. He's detached in various ways. Not saying he's a great guy, obviously. There's a complexity to showcasing this character. But I will also agree that I feel as if this movie were made today, then that probably wouldn't really be a part of it.
Yeah.
Korean culture to this day, from my understanding, is not great when it comes to women/feminism stuff to this day. There's some weird stuff going on. And perhaps, how we see artists throughout different decades in various countries, depending on what sort of social steps or progress a country has made, you'll see, transphobic jokes however many years ago, or homophobic shit from like artists that if you were to ask them today, or actors or directors or writers, like they're not creating that sort of stuff today, and it might have just been a misstep or in poor taste or just not, like when you are a reflection of the culture that you live in, there's going to be some weird fucking sussy shit that, especially when it's decades in the past, you go like, okay, probably shouldn't have done that. I can see why this is wrong. But like when you're in the time period, like the average person might not have felt the same way about it. Who knows? I wasn't in Korea. I'm not Korean. I don't know exactly how that would even play to an audience, but I think the fact that there was a movie from within the same few years, like within a year, another Korean movie that had the exact same thing happen with the main character in it, that kind of gives me a bit of a clue into like that, it is kind of like a dated cultural thing. And I'm able to look past that and be like, okay, wow, no, I'm seeing a challenging film with moral complexities and ambiguities. Not saying that rape is not bad, everybody, okay? But showcasing a very disturbed, very a character who should obviously not be doing that, but is also just his mental faculties are not all there. I enjoy this movie more because of it being shocking, right? I gravitate towards being shown things that disturb me and that push the boundaries of what is acceptable, right? So to me, it's a positive, not the concept of it, but the fact that it's in a movie and also from an artist that, I've seen a couple other of his works that I really admire, and so I already have maybe a bit of a bias towards him, and so maybe if I practice that thought experiment I was mentioning earlier, then like I don't know if it was directed by somebody I don't like.
Yeah, it's not even the inherent inclusion of it that bugs me. I just wanted it to narratively kind of justify itself with maybe characterizing her and getting more of her perspective on it, because
same.
She just doesn't acknowledge not only that, but also the fact that she doesn't know about him not being the one that killed her dad. Like, they don't have a single conversation about these things. And it just seems like the script doesn't want to go that direction because that's too tough. Which is like, well, in which case, why'd you put it in then?
Right.
You want to have this cutesy romance stuff, which I think really works in a vacuum without that scene. It's really endearing, and kind of summarizes what it's going for, I feel like, with, look, from their perspective, there's something really lovely here that only they really understand. It is just marred by this way they met, basically, which just I don't know why she's petrified. She's so petrified that she passes out and then a few days later calls him. What is the script saying with that?
My interpretation is that because of her, like literally the movie opens with just the shot of the poster on her wall, and only later are we able to recontextualize that that's a point of view shot from the character, right? This is a person who's living their entire life basically forced to use their imagination with those moments of like the reflections and the butterflies and and the doves and all that. This is a character that does not really feel like they're living a life. At one point, she even says like she wishes she could just have a job and work. Even though she's got people checking in with her and she's living in an apartment that I think was like built to house disabled people.
Right.
She's not really having any kind of connections with people. And even when she is around people, she's not talking to them because she's unable to, because as the film mentioned, like her even speaking is a huge effort on her part. Like it's a miracle that she's even able to around him. And I think through her perspective, and even though it didn't say it like very explicitly, what I gathered is that even though, obviously in that moment you would never be like, oh yeah, this is great. No matter how lonely you are, you don't want someone fucking forced upon you in that way, except for a couple people who have a really weird kink. All right, CNC, but that's not relevant here. That the character, from what I gather, after going back to the regular staring at a wall for however much of her day and not really having communication with people, there was a part of her that might have been able to, whether, from an effort or not, sort of go, okay, this is a person that wants me in some way or that is interested in me in some way. And even though, yeah, the sexual
That's
nature of it is
fucked, though.
disgusting. Oh, sure, yeah. But that's why it's complex. That's why it's complicated. Is it wrong to explore that type of character, to say that that type of character might exist? Who knows, right? I don't think that the director is saying that, like, every disabled person, you should just fucking show them some love or whatever, right? I think this is a very particular type of story that is intentionally trying to find the weirdest examples of characters in order to challenge the audience. I don't think the director wants you to be having hard conclusions on, the acceptability for this type of story being told, or the statements it's making in general about people or types of people or genders. I think that he just told a story that's fucking unique and disturbing, but I was also able to get a bit of the intended emotions as well. Like the cute scenes were still cute, right? For me, but
Do you think it would be lessened by, or it's made as impactful as you're saying, by it being one of their first interactions? Do you hear what I'm saying about
what do you mean?
how it could, what I was saying earlier about maybe if it was integrated into the story after they'd built a bit of rapport, so there was some different implications. I don't know, some different way to explore that, because it the uphill battle, I guess, is just a moment where it's either going to work for you or not. And I just don't feel like the script was nimble enough to play with something like that and make me feel what the characters are feeling.
Sure. No, yeah. I mean, like that's a part of what makes it challenging. Is like, you describe it, you say it's a battle, you say it's a challenge, right? It's all a part of it.
I mean, to me, it's like it clearly, like, they aren't trying to sidestep the disturbing nature of it, I feel like, or else they wouldn't have filmed it the way they did and shown it to that extent. Like, it clearly, they're intentionally showing that it's horrifying, right? But, like, so that's like an interesting choice. And I think that's like a good choice, that it is shown and depicted that way. And that's what, again, like Adam, you're saying, like, that is part of what makes this movie so thorny and interesting. But also, that's also like what makes it really hard to like emotionally connect with. And I do wish, and I do think the movie would have been improved if, like Alex, you were saying, we got a lot more of her perspective after this and was at least somehow addressed, or, she got to, like it isn't just sort of forgotten about. But yeah, I don't think it shouldn't have been in there at all. I just think it should have been handled a little differently.
Sure. Yeah. I don't have like a way. I haven't put much thought into like exactly what should have been corrected about it per se, because to me, I'm still watching a film that, like, again, from a different time period, from a different culture. The current culture has very, like, if you look it up, there's a lot of, very patriarchal expectations for the role of women and what they should be doing in the country, sort of thing. I don't know exactly, what was going through everyone's head at the time. But I don't feel as though, in terms of like whether or not there was anything like malicious towards how this character was portrayed. I don't think that it was done in a way. Overall, this character, I feel like, on paper, from many other directors or writers, etc., filmmakers, this character wouldn't have been handled in as respectful of a way, because to me, I feel like there was a challenge that they were intentionally giving themselves creating this film, where it's almost like a narrative storytelling challenge. Like, okay, how do we communicate the emotions and thoughts of this character that doesn't speak for the first half of the movie and only speaks around him and is struggling to speak and has to do it in very simple terms, right? How do we flesh out this character? How do we communicate, at any moment what she might be thinking, right? And so there's a scene where, after that initial incident, shocking incident, there's the other two characters, I think one of her siblings and their partners, and they start fooling around in the same residence. And the way that they do it is like, I feel that the film is communicating that is also done, in a way that is very disrespectful towards her, that her concerns are not being addressed. But the film is showcasing that perspective. They're making it clear that those two characters don't care enough to close the door, that she would like the door closed. She puts a huge effort that she shouldn't have to. Like, they should do it for her. Like, they're being kind of assholes about it. She puts this huge effort into closing the door, even though she's probably used to this happening all the time. And through that, I'm interpreting that, like, she has an ongoing insecurity and anxiety about her own lack of meaningful connection or relationship or sexuality or touch, or just existing and connecting with other human beings. And I think that, when she is putting on the lipstick, they don't just go like, oh yeah, I'm like, I love this guy right now. Like, we see a tear on her face, and it does communicate a lot, and it communicates not only the complexity of her emotions, but like her own internal struggles and the journey that she's kind of gone through and is currently going through. And it's subtle, right? And it doesn't over explain. It doesn't state things in a easy to digest way. But I think for myself, and many other people, there is a good amount to pick up from the performance and the context and the limited information just through its presentation. I still do feel like it's saying like a good amount.
Yeah, I guess I got that same complexity from the consensual sex scene they have towards the end. I feel like that complexity was in there anyway, or her scene when she desperately wants to communicate the truth in the police station and she can't. That's one of the better performance moments for me. That's really powerful. I don't know. I just think it had enough going on. It had enough drama. Right. I don't know why you'd poison it like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there, Alex. It's really tough to it'd be hard to recommend this or anything because of how it's handled. And I get they're trying to do it with this complexity, but I mean, just the way you look at it and how you could read into the framing of like the attempted rapist is like the only one who is going to show care to, like, maybe
right?
They're trying to make a statement about society. Like it's upsetting, but it's also like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we showing? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, like I do feel like overall, like, the film is showcasing a huge amount of like sympathy and empathy for her as a character.
Sure. Yeah.
And yeah, like I think if it were made today, that scene would like go over worse. Like
I don't think they'd make this movie at all today.
The fact that it's sometimes there's movies where of a scene before you've seen the movie, like fucking Irreversible. Like, of the scene before you've seen the movie, right? And I'm kind of surprised that this isn't in that same category where I know of that scene before having seen it. But yeah, it's I did enjoy getting a visceral reaction out of it, because I was very much like, no, don't. Like, I was terrified.
Yeah,
it was awful, but I like experiencing emotions.
Yeah, I definitely felt things, watching this movie. So I think it certainly got a reaction out of the viewer. Yeah, I mean, I am glad to have seen it because it was like it challenged me and was interesting, and I feel like
Definitely unique, yeah.
very unique, got some new perspectives, and yeah, I mean, I don't want to be like I don't think art should be offering a moralizing type of perspective. I don't think it should be virtuous or have a certain type of telling the audience how to feel about things. So, for those reasons, I think that it's important that movies like these exist, even though I might disagree with the choices. Yeah.
I'd actually be very interested to hear like him talk about and reflect on
Same.
that,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
hear some sort of like director commentary, or like an interview. Like perhaps this exists and we should be looking it up. Maybe not.
Yeah. Maybe we should.
I don't understand Korean, so we'd need it to be translated.
Well, the actress's perspective too.
Sure, yeah,
absolutely.
Moon.
Yeah, she did a very very, very bold and
Yeah.
ambitious,
Incredibly risky, yeah.
really, really, yeah, hugely risky role. And for the most part, she killed it. It's not going to be completely accurate to someone that has cerebral palsy, and there's going to be some parts where, obviously people who are more around real people in real life that, have the same things, will notice details or nuances or parts where she's, like doing a bit too much, et cetera, et cetera. But given the landscape of those types of performances and how fucking 9.9 times out of 10 it ends in like a like very embarrassing disaster, I think that like considering that, like, it's like, wow, like actually handled very impressively. Also, the choice to not include music that's not diegetic, I thought was very, very helpful.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that.
In terms of, having like a more personal kind of like empathetic and at times like intimate approach to these characters. Sometimes I think about just how inappropriately handled riding the bus with my sister was, where, this is, on one hand, you're trying to be a film that's like, pro autistic, like, don't treat these people differently. And then the soundtrack is going derp dee derp dee derp, like so silly, like, oh, fuck off, right? So kudos to the presentation for this film, the artful filmmaking choices, so many long takes as well, but not long per se, but like unbroken, because so many of the scenes are very short that none of the oneers feel like they're gratuitous and showy. It's not like fucking Magnolia, right? It's just a part of the style. And if you're not like a person that thinks about the editing or cinematography, etc., then you might not even notice it. But it is doing a lot in terms of helping the characters and performers. All of the performances were fucking fantastic, I thought. Like so much great stuff going into this film.
No, I'd say like I'm excited to watch more of his films after this. I mean, I really like the filmmaking on display here. So
yeah, same.
Even though I'm personally gonna rate this a 6 out of 10.
Sure.
I want to see Burning. I want to see a few of his other movies.
Yeah, I need to see Burning. Yeah, I feel exactly the same, Jake, with my rating. 3-star. I think it's a brave swing. But when you swing like that hard, you're going to miss sometimes, and it misses for me. It's not going to miss for everybody, despite, that level of dedication to that filmmaking. Like the reincorporation of the tree branches and that whole stuff was amazing.
Hell yeah.
The dance in the queue of cars and stuff like that. There's a lot of like earnest stuff in there. But yeah, I just can't wrap my head around what most of this conversation has been focused on.
How do you think I feel? I've got a crush on a fucking Nazi character, right? You got to just get over some things sometimes, right? And don't
Scar.
fucking don't
Oh,
fucking
Scar.
throw
Okay.
out the baby.
Yeah.
Don't throw out
Yeah,
the baby
just-
with the bathwater, right? You just
I thought
gotta.
this was your Lars von Trier moment for a second.
Okay, okay. No, yeah, I think he's got some great stuff in his filmography. Alex, I do think you would enjoy Burning.
Yeah, I need to fast track that one.
And Secret Sunshine is just incredible. And that's I haven't seen that one in a while, but it is like a female main character, and definitely not. From the films I've seen from him, there's certainly nothing like what disturbed you two about this. I mean, it disturbed me too, but from the ones I've seen, nothing has been quite as shocking as this one. So I did pick the wrong one to start your filmmaking, your Lee Chang-dong journey. But I didn't know because I was going in blind as well. But I enjoyed it very much.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to. I should ask Louise what she thinks about it, fellow DGen.
What's your rating?
My rating? 9 out of 10. I loved it.
9 out of 10. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm just thinking, I know you got to leave soon, right, Adam?
Yeah. So we can do a couple questions.
Yeah.
Sure, if we do a couple quick questions here from the Sardonicast community, head over to the suggestion thread over on the subreddit. If you want to leave questions for future episodes, let's do one from Character Reply 6732. What's the best film you've seen that has the least rewatchability? For me, it would have to be Norte, The End of History, mostly due to its length. Did I say that right?
I've seen it twice.
How long is that?
It's like 4.5 hours, I think.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
It's great. I mean, it's really good.
What pops into my head? Like Come and See, maybe, even though I've seen that twice. I actually think it's exceptionally good and kind of easy to revisit. Maybe like a 12 Years a Slave, something like that. I haven't revisited that. These kind of insanely heavy, the subject matter you're not necessarily just going to put on for a breezy afternoon.
Right.
To me, it's literally any MCU movie I've rated above a 6 because they don't have rewatchability.
No, the question was, what's the best film you've seen?
No, literally, yeah. Well, with the worst rewatchability. So I don't have the same thing that you guys do, where I don't want to see movies that make me feel sad all the time. So, like, Come and See, I could pop that on. Requiem for a Dream, I fucking play that right now. So to me, a movie with bad rewatchability is just a movie that gets worse when you watch it again, which every Marvel movie has been. So like there'll be like fucking one of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I'll be like, oh, that was nice. Give it a 7 when I watch it in the theater. And then I try to rewatch it thinking like, okay, maybe this will be on my like yearly list thing. And I'm like, you know what? This is just getting worse. And it'll just go down a point with every fucking watch. So
would you chuck on Dear Zachary right now?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to watch that one again, Dear Zachary. That's a good one. Especially not anymore.
Yeah, there is like partially a mood thing for me. Like I'm not against like watching Come and See right now.
Yeah, different people experience different emotions differently because the part of sad or negative emotion to many people is like a feeling of catharsis, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that.
I'd say like Funny Games. That's one where it's like I don't want to experience that again, but I appreciate it for what it was. But yeah, there are a lot of like disturbing or upsetting films that I don't mind watching or rewatching again and again. I guess it just depends. Everyone has like different things that really. Oh, what was that documentary? Oh fuck, I'm forgetting it now. Lots of good, disturbing documentaries I never want to see again. Oh, there's one. Oh, Titicut Follies. That's I think Frederick Wiseman. Have you heard of that?
No.
Yeah, I watched that in school.
1967.
Yeah, it's about basically a state like mental institution in the 60s. Really fucking upsetting. It's just really raw of what this place was like. It is so depressing. Yeah, very hard to watch, but yeah, it's very interesting movie. It's a classic documentary.
Lux Eterna wasn't even like that good, but like it's literally a headache movie. Like it's like stroke, like it'll kill a epileptic person. Gaspar Noé, you thought that his imagery was already fucking epilepsy unfriendly? You haven't seen Lux Eterna. Literally, you'll get a headache. I'm not even kidding. It's not even an hour long. It's a very difficult watch, but not even because it's like good. Not even because it's like disturbing. It's just a headache. Sensory headache movie.
Nice.
I'm gonna flicker the lights for fucking 40 minutes. We can do another question.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's do this one from Korak Hayden. People often discuss separating the art from the artist in terms of horrible people who are extremely talented, i.e. Roman Polanski or Spacey. Who are some of your picks for the inverse of this? Directors or actors, etc., who you deeply respect as people but feel lack any real talent as a filmmaker?
Markiplier.
I really feel like Zack Snyder is my pick for this. Whenever I like watch interviews with him, and I quite like him. He seems like a cool, chill dude. But I just not into his films. Like, yeah,
I'd say that about maybe Kevin Smith.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And to a lesser degree, this is kind of unfair because I do like some of Guillermo del Toro's movies, but recently I haven't really liked his films, but he just seems like a wonderful and nice person, you know? So I'm like, I wish I liked his movies a little more.
No, right.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves, hit or miss, but...
Is he a director?
No, I mean, it didn't say director, it said filmmaker, right? I don't know. He's an actor, not well, whatever.
It did have actors in there too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
He seems like a nice... sweetheart, sweet boy.
Yeah, true.
But his performance is not always. Okay, we could do another quick question.
Yeah, let's end on this one from Exploding Ninja. Did any of you see the Super Bowl spot for the new Cliff Booth film? What are your thoughts on it? So Fincher's new film with a Tarantino script.
Oh, geez, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this, to be honest.
Same.
I guess I'm going to watch it.
I got like no feeling out of seeing it. It was just like, okay, yeah, that looks like a David Fincher directed
thing. It's not
thing.
that exciting of a concept to me.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that it exists, I guess. It's kind of a weird combo.
I was watching Kid Rock at a protest. You know, it's funny. I was actually
you were watching the Turning Points.
I was actually watching Iron Lung during the Super Bowl. So the people that walked out, like, they really wanted to see it.
Wow. All right. Did you see the Fincher trailer?
No.
Oh, you should check it out.
I guess I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it is.
I'm just I appreciate Once Upon a Time more than actually like it. I just not that into movies that are about Hollywood that much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Who knows what that will be?
Yeah. I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic. I liked The Killer. I wish Fincher would get out of Netflix hell though, and make big movies on the big screen. And I have no fucking idea why he is doing this. It baffles me. I don't know. It's just the weirdest pairing of filmmaker and script, and it's just the images on screen. They look fine. It looks like it could be interesting. I mean, it's just kind of like a clip reel of what happens in it, but. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I'm like, I either want pure, unadulterated Fincher or I want pure, unadulterated Tarantino. I don't really need to see a blend of both, I think they're kind of at their best when they're doing their own thing. And hey, maybe this will prove me wrong, but yeah, I don't know. They're just so oddly paired. It's so bizarre.
All right. Thanks for the question. Sorry we did not many questions, but I have to leave.
Yes.
They got the longest episode ever last time. It's
Be grateful. Have you said thank you?
Adam has to hop on a private jet and he's going to some island, I hear.
2.0.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing I'm thinking about the whole Epstein stuff is like, there's got to be more than just one Epstein. We're all just kind of hyper-focused.
Wait, you think it would just stopped?
Yeah, there's probably like a lot of the same thing happening that no one's paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's just one billionaire that was doing that was organizing that shit. Only one person throws these kind of parties.
On that delightful thought.
That's a happy note to end on.
What a happy way to end. I wonder why you're watching so many depressing films, Adam.
It's because it's fun.
I wonder how many Epsteins there are. Let's think about
Life.
Okay.
Whose wreck
Life. On that note, it's my wreck.
It is.
Let's go. What have you got?
Okay. Am I going to be nice Jake or am I going to be mean Jake? Oh,
I've been nothing
I
but
love
nice.
the suspense. You have been on your best behavior, Adam, yes. And for that reason, I am recommending 1977, William Friedkin's masterpiece, Sorcerer.
Perfect.
Oh, nice. Finally.
Awesome. Looking forward to it, actually. So, if you don't want to be spoiled for Sorcerer, William Friedkin, 1977, watch it before the next episode comes out. These episodes come out every 2 weeks, so you can listen early by going to sardonicast.com, sign up for premium. It's only a few dollars per month, or patreon.com/sardonicast, or click the join button below. You can do it through YouTube membership. We post an unlisted, ad-free version of the episode, but you have to go to the community post tab because YouTube just doesn't allow the background play with members videos for some reason. But so we have members videos, but we also have an unlisted ad-free one. Okay, go to the community tab. You'll see it, but you can only see it if you have membership access. Okay, it's dumb that we have to do a workaround, but that's how you do it. And then we also got a Sardonicast highlights channel. Mm-hmm. Shout out to that. We got Sardonicast Normie Masterpiece stickers, ymsmerch.com.
Stickers.
Get some certified Normie Masterpiece stickers. And yeah, that was a good, fun episode. Thanks, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Happy Sorcerer, everyone.
Was that the bite of 87?
It was the bite of 87. Happy
I just want to live.
Happy Markiplier, everybody. I just want to live. All right.
I just want to live.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a happy bite of 87.